me, Rosie, and really loud. What kind of advice? I'm a yellow status right now. I'm really working hard. I have a team of 5, but I'm trying really hard to get them motivated. Other than always staying positive, is there any advice that you would give me? Like other than, or including incentives, like what can we do? Because no one is local to me. Everybody is online, which is totally cool and totally okay. But do you have any advice, like, what can I do to help them?
You need to tell your feed story that you shared yesterday. Okay. I think, honestly, you need to find ways to recognize them, encourage them, show them that you notice and that you see the work that they're doing. I'm assuming that they're trying. That would be the first step. If they're not, then you need to find new presenters. In all honesty. Right.
I'm motivated.
Exactly. But if they're trying. But I shared yesterday, one of the things I do with my team, we call them the Queen Bees. And it is my top sellers. On Team Flourish, I recognize anyone that sells over $1,000 a month. We call them the Queen Bees because scientifically a bee should not be able to fly. The size of its body compared to the size of its wings, scientists cannot explain why a bee flies. But the bee flies because the bee doesn't know anything else. It just flies. And we shouldn't be able to do this. Tia shouldn't be able to do what she's doing. She does it because she just does it, right? So you just encourage them. I think that's the biggest thing that you can do. I think it is the biggest thing you can do in this business, is to encourage and love and respect and show grace to the women underneath of you. So that's where I would start. Find the things that you can encourage them with.
Okay. Thank you.
Hi, so I have 2 questions. One, being a hometown girl, this is Pittsburgh, by the way. Where are you watching the Pens game tonight? Everyone's watching the Pens game, right? Let's go, Pens! Okay, all right, come on. It's the Cup, ladies, for those of you who don't know. We are in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Okay. All right, anyway, besides that, two games. Anyway, okay. Second question. What is your #1 recommended self-help, motivational, whatever kind of book you want to call it? Like, what is the #1 book that you recommend to people to get them forward, propelled, whatever?
Are you ready to write these down?
Yeah. Can I get back to my seat?
I have this in Mom. I'm recording.
Don't take my book. I got it here.
For me, it was Big Al Time Shorter, the How to Build Network Marketers. Big Al Tom. No, sorry, not Tom. Big Al. Big Al Schreider. How to Build Network. Yes, and then there's part 2 to that. There's part 1 and part 2. It'll teach you who to work with and who not to work with.
Okay. I know what some of them are going to say. So I'm going to go a totally different route for you. I'm so passionate about strong marriages in this business. I don't think you can be successful in this if your husband isn't alongside you, supporting you, and okay with it. In fact, I don't even want anyone on my team if their husband's not okay with it. So my recommendation for you is a book called Love and Respect. And it's a great book for marriages. So if you and your husband are not on the same page with this, you've got to get on the same page or it's not going anywhere. It's just not. Okay? So that's my recommendation for you.
Girl Code, because it helps you deal with the negative stuff that I was talking about. That'll help him that much.
Thanks, Tia. That was my book. I mean, it is one of my favorites. So a little bit different spin as well. And I know you asked specifically books, but personal development comes in all forms. And I am not a big, like, Katie doesn't like to sit and watch TV. I don't like to sit, period. So I'm not a big book person. I mean, audiobooks are cool. YouTube, inspirational and motivational channels. And they literally play, sounds cheesy, so crazy what it does to your mind, because A negative and a positive thought can't live in the same place. So even if it's when you're washing dishes, doing laundry, whatever the case may be, that's what you're hearing and feeding your mind the most. It's really hard when things go wrong to be negative because you're constantly feeding yourself positive. So find a way to do it, to involve it in your every single day life, and you will watch your mind change. And when your mind changes, everything else in your life changes.
So to add on to that, I'm not a big reader either. I mean, I was a big reader, but I do not have time for it anymore. So I have my rolling university, my shower university. Every time I'm in that shower, something is playing on my phone. I put it in a little shower cap, in a clear shower cap, stick it on the edge of my little shower caddy, and I'm listening to TED Talks, I'm listening to inspirational YouTube videos or any books that I've downloaded. My favorite YouTube video for that, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but Jim Carrey, which you would never think he's inspirational. But if you look up his commencement address, I don't even know what college it was. He talks about hope versus faith. And he says a hope is a beggar. And so if you're sitting around in your business and you're like, oh, I hope I hit this, I hope I hit that, I hope my girls do this, that's just begging the universe for stuff. You have to believe that it's going to happen. Not to like recap this video. You can go watch it. But as far as books, You Are a Badass is one of my favorite. That's been so helpful for my team because sometimes you just need someone else giving you permission to be a badass. Just do it. I mean, you are. And I also love 5 love languages.
Piggybacking off of what Billy said, because I don't have time to read a lot of times, but I do personal development every day through YouTube videos, and I absolutely love Les Brown. He gets me pumped up. I can sit there and I can listen to even the same video over and over and over again, and every time that I listen to it, I find something new. So even if you find one video that you love, keep it and listen to it whenever you feel down, okay? As far as books, which you can also YouTube, the whole movie, The Secret, is huge. It is one of the first videos, books that I ever did, and sorry, I've got gum in my mouth. I wasn't going to. It changed my business, and it is just the positive thinking, basically manifesting what you want. Watch that movie, read that book, it will change your business. And one other person is Eric Worre, and How to Recruit 20 People in 30 Days changed my business. Watch that 1-hour movie on YouTube. It'll put everything into perspective.
Piggybacking on that, we're going to piggyback this whole time. If you do not follow Sarah Robbins on YouTube, follow her. Her objection series is one of the best I've seen. And it's so helpful for my team because that's going to be, as leaders, that's going to be one of the questions that you get from your team the most is, how do I overcome these objections with, you know, my new presenters, my new customers, or my potential presenters? Watch that video series. Save it as some of your favorites because you're going to have to watch it over and over and over again. I've got it saved. I watch it at least once every 3 months just to keep fresh so that when someone comes to you with an objection, you can just knock it down right away.
If you're, I'm not in the physical activity, but if you can find the time to go for a walk or run in the morning and listen to some motivating music, do that. It's helped me big time in my business.
And I have a little add-on too. My team and I were just talking about this last night. Derek's story. Who has watched it? Not that many. That surprised me when I just assumed, because I share it, I talk about it. That was a change in my husband in my business on the cruise. When we went to Derek's story, we walked down, he looked at me, he's like, babe, holy crap. Because if you're having a rough time or you're stuck you're feeling stuck with sponsoring, with sales, with whatever, it really brings you back down to reality that this is so much bigger than any of that. When you hear his story and what he went through, and why this company exists, you totally just get a reality check that's like, this is silly. I'm being silly. And you go to work and you. So if you haven't watched Derek's story, I know it's all over YouTube. Previously, he's at the one convention a couple years ago, but last year's cruise. I know there's several. It's amazing. You need to see it. Yes, yes, book.
Billy, your eyelashes are mesmerizing.
I know a girl.
I just wanted to thank you all for coming, and I just wanted to say, as an older person that came into this kind of late, Maria's sizes sucked me in with those eyelashes and that crazy persona she has, and I knew nothing about makeup, and I came in today and I looked and you're all like absolutely stunning, and I know that you've all perfected your techniques, and I come in and I'm like, I watch all you guys, and I don't want to say I stalk you, and I watch you, but I do, and so saying this, like, I go and I watch all those professional people that are out on YouTube, and I've tried that baking thing. Do you guys do the baking thing?
I do.
I look ratchet. Don't do the baking thing. So you guys don't bake or you don't do the baking thing? That's when they put the powder on underneath there and they let it sit for like 5 minutes and then you look like a tranny. I did that the other day on my VIP page and everybody's going, all right, I'm reassured now. Thank you. You all look great.
Okay, I just have a question. As far as once you sponsor someone, I just wonder, I mean, you ladies obviously know how to propel people, and obviously our goal is to help people hit fast start. So what is like maybe your number one or maybe top 2 things that you do initially to kind of get people going? Or like you would say, like, absolutely do this to kind of help people, because there's just so much at the beginning and you feel like you're like word vomiting them. You're all excited, you want them to be excited, and then they're like, I can't do it. So yeah, number 1 or 2 things that like must do this.
I do a boot camp. So I run them through Fashionista boot camp and like what they have to do within their first week or 2 and how to get to fast start. I mean, I constantly say you need 5 constant parties going on. And in those parties, your goal is to train your hostess and train them so good that then you say, oh my God, you make such a great presenter, and then you turn them into presenters. And and then with them doing that, they can get their 3 people and their fast start. I mean, I could go on. But.
Yeah, I know, there's a lot, I'm sure.
I start mine a little more slowly. I try to judge where they are. If they are somebody that just is crazy excited, I tell them shout it from the rooftops, start your launch party, go for it. If it's someone who's more tentative or they're not 100% sure that they don't want to be a kidnapper, I tell them to start posting. As soon as they join, I tell them to start posting as a customer. Post on their Facebook page, say, poll their friends, has anybody tried this unique stuff? I'm trying it, I love it. Like, give it a really good recommendation. I built my entire business on recommendations. I have developed my reputation over the past couple of decades. So, they say I didn't get to black in 14 months. I got to black in 14 years. So I have always, if you watch my page, I do tutorials on the time iron. I posted the other day about that wet brush. Like I am a referrer. That is something I've always done. I will tell you my favorite doctor. I will tell you what car you need to drive. I have very strong opinions about everything, and I'll let everybody know about it, except inflammatory stuff. You do not post that on Facebook, like we've already talked about. So I start my girls out a little more slowly if they're the ones that are more tentative, and I say just start posting as a customer, and then after like 2 weeks where you've dropped a couple of posts and you said, hey, I really love this, and people start communicating and they're saying, oh yeah, I tried it, I loved it too. Bam, you announce you're a presenter. You say, I loved it so much, I decided to join. And then you flip over because you've already built that trust as a customer and that relationship as a customer, so it's easy to flip that over. But that's only for the people that you don't know if they're gonna even take off at all. The people that wanna take off, just let them run. Say, here's this file. I would pick 1 or 2 files to get them started with, unless you have a boot camp like she has, and then just go for it.
I don't have a boot camp, but I don't have a boot camp. But like I was saying earlier with the team culture is we have one consistent welcome post on our team page. It's a lot of information, lets people go at their own pace. I like both of these approaches, but everybody's gonna do it different, and I think having that open line of communication, checking in, not just tagging them, hey, start here, great information. There's how to get started strong, video links on there. I mean, there's a lot of important information that you need to know in the beginning. But having that open line of communication so that if they want to go slower, then you walk with your walkers. If they're ready to run, then let's go, baby, we're going. And you can kind of gauge that by how much of that information you can kind of get back from them that they've actually went after, that you're providing for them. And then, like I said before when I was talking, my celebrations page, our celebrations page, it is huge. And I know we're in a ton of groups and I know it's hard. But when you sign up, when you buy your kit, that is the high of your excitement in the beginning, right? Like, I did it, scared to death, some people, whatever, but you're excited. And so you can then give them the meat and potatoes that they need, but dump them into this group that is just like, woo, go you, and yay, this is going on, and it's just excitement and positivity everywhere. It's gonna be really hard for them not to want to go after this. So my celebrations page, big difference.
For me, if it's your person enrolled, my rule of thumb is to get them on the phone within 24 hours. Because for you to take that time out and get them on the phone, if they're gonna get on the phone with you, that's huge. Because a lot of people sign up and then they go into the witness protection program and you never hear from them again. And you don't wanna waste your time messaging them if they're not gonna respond. And so it's like Billy said, giving them that little bit of homework. This is your first goal, yellow. And like I said in my leadership training yesterday, sometimes for me, when they told me I had to sell $1,000, I was like, oh my God, that's a lot. So if you start them off, you have to go sell 125, you're gonna hit your first promotion. 5 mascaras, hits white. So start them off on those small goals, but get them on the phone, because if you can get them on the phone, they're gonna know that you care about them as a person, that you're not just a business presenter in your team. That you actually will take the time out and get to know them and what they want.
You can go. You can ask your question. Yeah.
Hey, I'm Bethany, and this might be like a little bit of a more, it's kind of a duo question, but I'll just do it once. I'm an orange status presenter. I work full-time as a nurse. I do days, I do nights. I have 3 small children. I have a 6-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 1-year-old. Work 40 hours a week. Like I said, do days, do nights. I have 130 people on my team, and it gets I have a hard time not getting overwhelmed. And I feel like I don't have like a good organizational system of, I'm sleeping during the day, then I'm up at night, then I am with my kids, and I don't know if there's maybe like one small like organizational thing you each could direct me in.
Okay, you need to do some time blocking. Have you watched a video on time blocking? Okay, go to YouTube, Laura Dilley. She's my Black Status upline. She did a fabulous video on time blocking. And that's when you sit down and you say from 10 to 10:30, I'm gonna do follow-up. From 10:30 to 11, I'm gonna message the team members. From 11 to 11:30, I'm gonna post in my parties, whatever that is. Time blocking is huge. You have to write it down so that you can actually see it, and then you write in your breaks. From 11:30 to 1:30, I'm going to Target, okay?
So like at the beginning of the week, you do it for a week period?
Yes, get yourself a calendar and do time blocking. It's huge. Yeah, and you have to stick to it. Find someone to keep you accountable, a pacing partner, your upline, whatever, find someone to keep you accountable for it.
Okay, so I am finding that a lot of the people that I'm approaching about using Unique, a lot of my friends, either A, I don't wear makeup, which is kind of part of my I didn't wear makeup until uni too, so. But a lot of them have never tried it, and a lot of the girls that I'm saying, hey, you should really try this party, or hey, would you like to, you know, or they've commented and say, I love this look that you have, but they're hesitant to throw a party because they've never tried the product before themselves, or they're hesitant, obviously they're not gonna be part of my team when they've never tried something before, and I'm really struggling with parties, and I've talked with my purple, and she's working really hard with me to get these parties and things, but how do you get it out even? I mean, of course I push and say like, hey, we've got the Love It Guarantee, you know, you can try it, just try it. Here's what I tried here, but what else do I do other than the Love It Guarantee, and like, how do I get it into their hands, especially distance is a factor at this point too. Oh, great.
You.
Hello, Mama.
Hey. I totally just, so I think sometimes less is more. I'm a big fan of that. You could talk about the Love It Guarantee, you could talk about how great it is, you could talk about the ingredients, you could talk till you're blue in the face, and it's not you, it's them. They're not ready. And I think a great example of that is my newest first Gen Elite has been a customer of mine, a friend of mine from college, customer of mine from when I very first started. It took her 1 year of watching me. She bought all the time. And she didn't just buy for her, she bought for like her entire family for holidays. I was like, girl, what are you doing? But she wasn't ready. And so I said, okay. And I continued to share my love and my passion for my business. And she saw that, and she continued to watch it. And a year later, when she was ready, she joined and she hit elite status 3 months later. Because now she was ready for it in her life. So sometimes it doesn't really matter what you say. I mean, it always matters what we're saying. And yes, there's things that you could say to objectives, but sometimes less is more. You say, okay, no problem, girl, you know where to find me. And you continue to share your love and passion for your business. And that's gonna draw them back in, not you saying, blah, 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 Love It Guarantee and everything else. And that goes for sales and opportunity. Yeah.
Mine kind of goes with the other one about new presenters. So how much do you guys give your new presenter? So like I have a starting strong group, which is really just kind of 12 posts of, you know, your pay quicker and all the important information you kind of need. And I remember when I started and I was like just kind of shoved into the wolves and go, here you go, figure it all out. And then I made like a Dropbox and like put a whole bunch of stuff and pictures and information about products. But now I feel like it's, if I'm like, oh, I'll add you to the Dropbox, it's too much. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't want them to feel like, oh my God, now I have like this huge amount of stuff to go through. Like what's a happy medium?
Well, as far as getting the girls launched strong, I have a personal page like Billy does, where I have a series of very short videos. They are literally like, how do we get paid? And it's just me, and I'm telling you how you get paid. And I'm telling them they have to sign up to pay quicker. And then I'm telling them you need to make your list of 100 people when you start off. You need to have your launch party. And I'm telling them just very short, because people, they don't have time, like you said, to go through all these files, and then they get overwhelmed. So since it's only my personal page, it's only my personally enrolled that are in this this page that has 5 videos in it, and that's it. And I might shout in there a couple things here and there. And I also do a monthly group chat for the newly enlisted girls that I personally sponsor, and then they also put their new girls in there. And every month I change the name of the chat. So it's June Boss Babes or May Boss Babes. And much like your celebration page, it's that excitement that is in a contained group chat. So it's not getting mixed in with my training page, the mother page. It's actually just these girls that are like, hey, this is what I'm doing. And I kind of suggest that the girls come together. It's not always just me that they have access to, but them all feeling like they're starting together ends up creating that culture amongst them, and they get excited and they're talking back and forth, and I'm in there and I'm rooting them on and I'm saying, great, you're this close to yellow, and then they're talking to their girls, and it goes on and on and on. And I find that the next month, I start a new one, the ones that it's kind of like you graduate from the group chat. Some stay, some go. And that's how I can identify who to work with. Like Billy said, the runners, run with the runners, walk with walkers.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, guys.
Hey guys, so 2 questions. What's your stance on samples? Good idea, bad idea? And how do you tell your team members, Billy talked about being honest with your team members, how do you tell them if they're doing something wrong? Like I know my girl like posts like just graphics, hey, buy this here, here's my link. How do you be like, that's not a good idea?
Okay, so samples, I don't use the corporate samples just because it's not enough product to let them really see it. I try to get it. I do a lot of local business. I do a lot of one-to-ones, and then I have people that just trust me just because they trust me, and they know that if they have a problem, I will refund them, I'll return their product, whatever. Probably not supposed to, but I have made some samples, and if I had, don't listen, corporate don't listen, shut your ears, but I am so discretionary with who I give it to, because you know those people that are out there that will not buy. They are the people that go up to the makeup counters and they're like, oh, do you have a sample of this? They never intend to buy. They're just horn samples. That's all they do. That's all they want. They're like the Costco dinner people that just go and get samples. So, you know, samples, what I try to do is get with them and say, let me do an application on you, and then you'll get the full experience of it. Because just shipping somebody a bunch of samples, I don't do that so they can try the product. I will do that only for color matching. Because the samples, there's no money in it, and the sample, you're spending money, and a lot of time there's not a high return on it. And the samples in the back office that we had, it's just not enough product for them. I mean, who wants to, okay, I love them, they were excited, but who wants to rub a paper card and then rub your face? It's great for color matching, but that's really the extent of it. What was the second part of the question?
How do you tell your team if they're doing something?
Okay, what I usually do, because if I start, I unfollow a lot of beauty presenters, including my team, because I want to see my customers. But if I start to notice that certain people's pages are really kind of gray, I will have them, I kind of put a call to action on my page. I'm like, who wants, and I offer it as kind of like a service to the team, is who wants a page evaluation? Who wants me to check it out and see what we can do to make it more attractive? And a lot of times people know, they know already that their page isn't drawing in people. And they will ask you, but anybody have a suggestion as to if you need to call them out?
I just will message my personals and say, hey, just checking in with you, find something encouraging to say to them, like something encouraging. As a district, it's just like, your kids are like cute. I don't know, I mean, that's all you need to figure out. And then say, I would love to give you some feedback. Would you be up for that? Right? They'll always say yes. And I'll always start with something positive, and then tell them what you think they can do better.
And then end with something positive. Yes, Sam.
I just want to add on the opposite end. You were asking about specific samples. I just want to say I've never given a sample out once ever. I try to turn it into a consultation. A home party, if they're not local, then that's when I'll bring up the love it guarantee. Okay, but I've never, I'm not going to say it's not smart for your business. I don't personally do it. I've never, so you can build a business without samples. And I just kind of do blanket statements. So like every now and again, my team will see on the team page, like, I just want to say, like, nothing feels better than waking up and looking at all of your pages and seeing the most amazing personal post on your page. You know, way to go, team no graphics or something like that. So it's like you're addressing it, but you're not addressing it. It takes the heat off you until you get more confident in your leadership role to be able to personally address issues like that, which if you do things like that consistently, you shouldn't have to, because eventually they'll just get it. You're always going to have some that maybe don't, but that works for me.
Thank you.
All right, thanks you guys for the questions. We're going to have it stay up here with me because we want to thank all of you guys for